time to get serious about this town.
Get that stuff out of here. It's Southwest Bias.
Welcome into another edition of Southwest Bias, brought to you by our friends at the Husband and Wife Law Team. If you've had a serious accident, call the Husband and Wife Law Team first at 602-783-8841 or visit their website at husbandandwifelawteam.com. And we are live from Studio K, brought to you by our friends at Circle K. Make sure to become a member of the Inner Circle today for free by downloading that sweet Circle K app. I don't know if you guys have seen this story. It's been kind of an internet sensation, but there is a monkey named Punch. He is in a Japanese zoo, and his mother abandoned him. Kevin, do we have that photo of Punch? A poor little Punch he's 6 months old, and his mother abandoned him. He has no friends in the monkey world, it seems like, and he's kind of turned to an IKEA stuffed animal that he's carrying around in place of his mother, in place of his friends, to give him comfort. Because the cruel, hard world of little monkeys in the Japanese zoo has taken its toll on poor little Punch. He's become an international sensation because I think we all see a little bit of ourselves in Punch. I'm not, you can talk about a global scale, but I'm really just talking as an Arizona sports fan because I'm going to give the state of the Arizona Sports Union right now, at least from my perspective. And I feel like Punch because at times in this painful sports market, I feel like we're abandoned. And I'm not done with hope. We'll get into that. But I am done with trying to make excuses. I am done looking at it and trying to make it seem a little bit better simply because maybe there's a curse or something. There's all sorts of excuses. But let's be honest. It is extremely tough being a fan of town or sports in Arizona and in Phoenix in particular, in this town, in the valley. You look at right now, 2026, we came in with a lot of hope that the Suns had kind of given us. They lifted us up. A team that was supposed to be abysmal found a way to be surprisingly good. We all got our hopes up. We all started to have expectations. We all thought, could they move up to fourth in the West? Could they shock some people? Could this be like the 2010 Suns that made an unbelievable run to the Western Conference Finals? Hell, could they be like the 76 Suns that surprised everybody and made the finals against the vaunted Celtics? And then reality kicks in. Actually, it kicks you in the nuts in some ways. Injuries. Devin Booker gets injured. All right, well, it's a short time. Then you're still dealing with the Jalen Green injury. There's setbacks. Okay, he comes back. And then Dillon Brooks breaks his hand. And we find out he had surgery on it. Supposedly the surgery went well, successful according to the Suns, although I've never seen a press release that comes out after a surgery and went, well, that doctor just botched that. This guy's in trouble with his hand, but they say 4 to 6 weeks. All right, puts you right at playoffs. Jordan Goodwin, undisclosed calf injury, will be reevaluated in 1 to 2 weeks. All these things just kind of keep piling on, and it makes you wonder, when will that stop? Can this team actually raise itself above all of that? And it's a legit question, and we don't know. There's reason to have concern there. Turn to the Cardinals. Worst season in franchise history. Everybody thought Jonathan Gannon was going to stay based on reports. They fire him. A very difficult coaching search. Now you landed on a guy in MLF that I think can be successful. In fact, I'm a lover of MLF. right? We've discussed that on this program. We had a thumbnail that I even took crap for because of it. But that was a very roundabout way to even get there. Then you look at it, and it's kind of a fait accompli that Kyler Murray is gone, right? And we've kind of sold ourselves on this. A lot of us. I know there's a small, no pun intended, Kyler Murray contingent that is all about, he should be the quarterback. But we've sold ourselves on, or at least come to an understanding that he's likely going to be traded, or probably more likely that he's going to be cut. And okay, we turn and look at Malik Willis. And I've tried to convince myself that the idea of Malik Willis is a good one. In fact, I've talked about it on the program. But I think there's a little bit of lying to ourselves in that as well. Because right now, this very second, based on track record, based on inherent skill, Kyler Murray is a better quarterback than Malik Willis. But we want that hope. We want to hold out the idea that, it's going to be okay. That Malik Willis might be that guy. I don't know. The guy's throwing hardly any passes, hasn't been a starting quarterback on the regular. We don't know. I'm not going to make the excuse for that. The Cardinals backed themselves into a corner. Now they got to clean up their mess. I don't know that they got a big enough pooper scooper. We're going to find out. I hope they do. They're in Indy right now trying to do that. We got the Diamondbacks, a team that had immense expectations coming out of the World Series in 2023 and has failed to meet them in 2 subsequent seasons. And we're being served the idea of, hey, we brought Merrill Kelly and Zach Gallen back, even though that didn't work last year. The idea of, well, hopefully the bullpen will be better. We got a couple guys, and hopefully the guys that we had will be okay. And, hey, Paul Sewald's back. Paul, yeah, all right. And Arenado. We got a guy that went to high school at the same time as Espo. That should help, right? Yeah, right. The guy that went to high school at the same time as Espo. And we got these young guys. It's the same kind of story we've heard. And I hope that it turns out all right. Because, look, I'm not going to make excuses. The state of Arizona sports is in flux. The state of Arizona sports right now is one that I don't know. And I don't think any of you know. The Suns are a fun story. Lots of hope. But the injuries, does it derail this year? Can you carry alignment, and can you carry this into next year? How do you build on it? What can you do? These are all questions that are going to be answered in 2026. But as we sit, they're questions. There's no answers. Promising prospects for the Diamondbacks, Lawler and Waldschmidt. Does Jordan Lawler find his way? Does Corbin Carroll come back from his injury and continue to play at a high level? Does Waldschmidt find his way to becoming a star in the MLB this year, or a quality rookie? Does he find himself in AAA this year and gets here next year? No. I hope that they find a way to win. I really do. But I'm not feeling confident at this moment that's going to happen. The Cardinals have a fresh start. Mike LaFleur, fresh start there. You've got the number 3 pick in the draft. You've got a boatload of money in free agency. It's hope, but I've been there before. I've seen that script play out. I don't know that I have faith that it's going to play out the way that you want. The Arizona Wildcats, great basketball team, number 2 in the country right now. I think they can win a national championship, but we've seen what happens in the tournament. One injury, one thing, one bad game, and a team that felt destined to compete, felt destined to go to the Final Four, doesn't. There's hope, but the past makes me uncomfortable. Kenny Dillingham's recruiting class. We've heard great things about it. We thought that last year. We thought Kenny had this program fixed. Injuries took him out. They kept it interesting, but injuries effectively took them out. Brett Brennan, there's hope renewed at U of A. Will it be anything major? The Suns, again, the promise and looks like they have some hope, but they have no draft picks, which I get. I don't feel that's going to be an impediment, but a lot of people have brought that up and fought it. I need my own stuffed monkey. I think we all do right now. Something to give us a little comfort in Arizona sports. Because right now, I feel like the state of Arizona sports is a little adrift, we've trying to hope, but we are scared. I think we're all punch when it comes to Arizona sports. Feeling like we're a little bit adrift. Feeling like we don't have that thing to give us comfort. I want the stuffed monkey for each of us. The hope, the thing that makes us all believe that we may see a winner, that we may see somebody overachieve. I want that stuffed monkey. IKEA, do you sell championships? I know you sell those stuffed monkeys, but do you sell championships? Do you sell hope? Do you sell a way for a team to overachieve? Do you sell quarterbacks, perhaps? Do you have a starting NFL quarterback that we can get? We're all a little drift because the state of Arizona sports is in flux. The state of that, it's a very imperfect union when it comes to it. But maybe that's just my Southwest bias. We welcome in the dreads behind the desk. Kevo, how are you, my friend?
I'm good, Espo. How are you doing today?
I felt that was probably a little dark, but it was just how I was feeling today. I looked at Punch and I said, I see myself in that monkey, and not just because I'm hairy and Italian. I saw myself in that monkey because of the way he was feeling, right? You getting thrown around. I felt like we get kicked around like that as Arizona sports. It struck a chord with me. I'll say that.
Punch definitely struck a chord with everybody, I think. Just the cuteness of the monkey and then the monkey getting bullied by other monkeys. It's like you're supposed to stick up for the small monkey that's feeling sad, you know?
I did read that's actually how monkeys just interact. Like that's part of what they do. And it made me think, man, maybe we are like we are so brutal to our own on social when it comes to Arizona sports. We go after each other. Maybe we are that group of monkeys just kicking each other while we're down. I want to uplift. I want us to have our own stuffed monkey.
I mean, I would love a stuffed monkey. You could say Tommy Lloyd is a stuffed monkey, I guess.
Is there? We can get into this in the second half of the program. I want to talk about U of A and what the hope is and why we should believe that this is the year that the Final Four championship is on the table. I want to get to that after halftime. I promise you, Kevo. Who do you think is that team the biggest hope in Arizona right now? Do you look at anybody else, any individual athlete as the stuffed monkey of the year, potentially somebody that we all just hold on to for dear life?
I mean, look, I know I'm barking up the wrong tree in this part of the state to be like, I think the Arizona Wildcats are the hope for the state of Arizona. I know in this specific part of Arizona, that's not really very well received, but I think it's the truth. I think they're the best team with the best chance to win a championship in their respective sport this year. They're not the healthiest right now, but we'll get to that in a little bit. But I think that outside of them, outside of people that maybe in Phoenix and Tempe would not want to say is the hope, I do think that like this new era of the Suns, there's a lot to be hopeful for. I think, that run of success that the Suns had before this run of lack of success recently and lack of health, I think really gave people a ton of ideas as to maybe what this team could be if things continue to go as well as they were. But I think this is not retooling, but a readjustment, right? With a new leadership and a new sense of moving forward. I think there's a lot to be hopeful for with the Suns in particular. But I think that the Cardinals, respectfully, not a lot of hope over there. Not a lot of hope. The D-backs, they have some potential, but it feels like, I don't know,
Potential
maybe I'm
scares
wrong,
the
but-
hell out of me.
Yeah, I think the Suns and the Arizona Wildcats are your two chances for hope right now.
Do you think the Suns can actually overcome all these injuries, though? Because I'm starting to get a little worried.
I don't know. If Devin Booker was playing at the time when he was playing, if he was playing more of a level that if he comes back, I'm like, okay, Devin Booker when he comes back is going to be a guy that like is doing everything we think he could do. But the way he's been shooting this year, even before he went down with that hip thing, I don't have that much hope that the Suns can recover from what's going on right now. But I think going forward as a franchise, there's a lot of hope as to what what that new leadership group can bring.
I've got my fingers crossed that the Suns can overcome these injuries because they keep surprising us every freaking time people write them off this year. But I'm getting closer to that panic mode, hitting that button that maybe this is the time that they can't overcome it. I want to hold out hope on the Cardinals front too, because this is when hope springs eternal. The combine, that next star might be there. Free agency, Malik Willis could turn into that guy. But you're right. I don't know why I want to believe that. Maybe I'm wired that way. I think a lot of people want to believe that, but Malik Willis is an imperfect quarterback, as is everybody that they will get this offseason. And the D-backs, again, I want to believe as well. But,
I mean, the Cardinals, like, this is like the honeymoon stage with like the new group, right? Because it's like you have, like you said, you have the combine, you have the draft coming up, all these positive things, but you have to play football at some point, right? And I think until with the Cardinals, I got to see it to believe it. For like at least like a 6 to 8 game stretch, I got to see some real successful stuff to be like, yeah, the Cardinals, that looks hopeful. Because right now, it's hard to sell me that the Cardinals are going to get better with a brand new everything in terms of coaching, except for Nick Rallis, and also they're going to
can it get worse though?
They're going to talent downgrade at quarterback, and then it's going to get better. I don't know.
Hello says, "What a crappy honeymoon." I feel like they went to Sheboygan. It's like, hey, people are going to beaches, they're going to major cities. We got Sheboygan. We're going to Sheboygan for our honeymoon with Mike LaFleur.
Look, I can't speak from experience, but I would assume that there's some people out there that you get into maybe your late 40s, maybe mid 50s, and you're like, I've tried it a couple times. Let's just like latch on to something and make it work. And that's kind of where the Cardinals are at.
Oh, man.
The Cardinals can't go out picking and choosing supermodels. Exactly. The Cardinals are picking potato chips off their stomach on the couch every night. They gotta get what they can get. You know what I mean?
I never thought of this. The Cardinals are a pathetic divorcee, aren't they? That's their role in Arizona sports. They're not the eligible bachelor. They're not on the Bachelor with 30 contestants vying for their love.
No, they got chocolate on their lip from last night's chocolate mousse. They didn't wash off yet.
They want to be on Love is Blind, where nobody can see them and hope they can find that love. And yeah, the Sheboygan honeymoon might be as good as it gets. Hello in the chat is always fun. Glad to have you as part of the bias. YTIF in the chat. Thank you for being here. Lando as well. Deborah, always here. Kara, always here. Desert Vulture. Connor, glad to have all the bias here in the chat this morning for the state of the Arizona Sports Union. Books Journey 1, glad to have you here. He says, WTF. I don't know what part of the show you're referring to, because there's a lot of this show that you could have said WTF to. I started talking about a monkey with a stuffed monkey. We went to Sheboygan honeymoons and how the Cardinals are a 50-year-old bachelor that wants to be on Love is Blind.
Probably that part.
That's this program. Welcome to this program. And that's why I love having Kevo, the dreads behind the desk as well, because he always brings a unique perspective. It's halftime. On the other side of halftime, we got more to talk about Arizona sports right after this. Gotta tell you about Gila River Resorts and Casinos. You know, Vegas is fun and all, but it's a pain in the ass to travel up there. You got to either take a plane, drive 5 hours. Nobody wants to deal with all that hassle. That's why Gila River Resorts and Casinos is bringing Vegas to you with their Vegas residency. At all 4 of their Valley locations, you can go and you can experience all your favorite parts of Vegas without all the crap that you don't want to deal with. You can enjoy exclusive concerts, extended DJ sets, showgirls, chef-driven dining, pop-up bars, and surprise cameos. Who will it be? I don't know. That's why it's a surprise. Plus, don't miss the fabulous Corvette giveaway that's going on. They are giving away beautiful Corvettes. I saw one out at Santan Mountain, a beautiful orange one. You want to get in these things, so you're going to have to go out there and enter to win. So they're going to bring Vegas only at Gila River Resorts and Casinos. Visit playathila.com for the full calendar of events. And the husband and wife law team. I have fun on this show, but there's nothing that is fun about trying to figure out a lawyer when you've had a serious injury due to an accident. I had somebody reach out to me in our DMs and say, hey, Espo, I've been in a car accident. And I said, have you done your research yet? They're like, no. I said, you know what? I'm going to do it for you. You're going to go to Mark and Alexis Breyer, the husband and wife law team, because they are going to take care of you and focus on what you need most. They are prepared to go to trial if that's the case. They are going to make sure that you wind up with more money in your pocket than they do in theirs. And they're going to make sure that you can reach your lawyer at any time. That is their guarantee. Plus, if you want to cancel, you can cancel. That's the way they roll. So make sure, if you've had a serious injury, to call the husband and wife law team first at 602-783-8841 or visit their website in the link in our description and tell them PHNX sent you. An unbelievable Robin Thicke performance here at halftime. I hope you all enjoyed it. He was going to be over at Gila River Resorts and Casinos, and he stopped by here for a 2-minute set. Unbelievable. Hope everybody on YouTube got a chance to see that. We got a smorgasbord of other things to look at, but before we get into it, I want to remind you, the PHNX Cardinals guys are out at the Combine, and we have so much that you need to dive into with them, and we are actually doing a die-hard sale. $36 is going to get you access to all the exclusive content from Johnny and Bo and Mr. Diefenbach as well, who's out there. You're going to get access all that in our Discord on the website, and you are going to get access to our NFL draft guide, the best draft guide in all the land. Experts running it. You're going to love everything that you learn about the prospects that the Cardinals could get at number 3, including information directly from Indy in there. So make sure to sign up to become a diehard today with that NFL draft guide access. And you're going to get a free shirt. Essentially, that $36 pays for itself because the free shirt worth that. So you're going to pick that out as well. So become a diehard member today and use that sale. Lot still to talk about tonight. Suns, Celtics out at the morgue. We got the Suns, the walking wounded, trying to figure out, can they take on the Celtics, who have dreams of winning an NBA championship. Grayson Allen still questionable. The team really struggling. Only had 77 points the other night against the Portland Trail Blazers. I'm concerned this evening yet again, and then they play the Lakers on Thursday, a much more important game. But you can hear the footsteps of the Golden State Warriors right behind this team. They need to find a way to get a win tonight or Thursday night. They can't go 0 for 2 while they're sitting here waiting for Devin Booker, and a lot of that is going to be on Jalen Green's shoulders. He has to find his shooting stroke in the best way possible. He struggled from the field. He did have that big three-pointer in double overtime to win the game. He's shown the propensity to hit big shots, but the Suns need him to hit more shots. They also need Royce O'Neal to step up in the worst way. He's had some bad games and some terrible shooting as of late. Ryan Dunn needs to find any ounce of ability to help this team out if they want to be able to beat the Celtics. A big thing, though, for the Suns, Jaylen Brown may be out for the Celtics, so they may catch a break on that front, but Vucevic is there now for the Celtics. The Suns have struggled against big shooting bigs this year, so we will see how that plays out tonight. Hopefully the panic button doesn't get hit any further. The Suns offense needs to wake up. Jordan Ott said just that. And then I saw this rumor that Michael Wilson is going to get an extension this offseason. MLF, which now might stand for Mike LaFleur, Utball. Utball, that could be what this is. Said, which would be a real inside source if they're saying that, right? That would be the case. But you're looking at it; they're projected to sign Michael Wilson to a 3-year, $57 million deal this offseason. Now it's expensive; it's $19 million a year. It's a big contract, but that's what you have to pay in the NFL these days. Michael Wilson had that breakout year last year, over 1,000 yards, 7 touchdowns, found his rhythm, did it with Jacoby Brissett as his quarterback. So imagine what he might be able to do with an even better quarterback. Wilson has done everything that has been asked of him, and with very little targets across his career here in Arizona. You put him next to Trey McBride, who is one of the best in the game, not just tight ends, but one of the best catching, receiving players in the entire NFL. You've got MHJ that you hope that Marvin Harrison Jr. finds his way. I think this could wind up looking like a steal of a deal eventually if Michael Wilson gets the right quarterback thrown in the rock, because this offense under Mike LaFleur with the right guy under center could wind up lighting up the league in the way that we've seen Sean McVay offenses do. They have the pieces. Now, if they do what I think they should do in the draft and get a tackle and really stack that offensive line, make it better for the entire offense where you can get pass protection, you can get run blocking, and you can solidify it for years to come, Michael Wilson at $19 million a year might look genius for Monty Ossenfort by the end of it. Now, I'm not sure, like we talked about, everything's in flux. Michael Wilson could crap out. We don't know. But at this point, again, you pay the loser tax when you're the Arizona Cardinals. You wind up having to overpay even your own guys to ensure that they don't go on to greener pastures elsewhere. And you can't tell me that another team won't pay Michael Wilson this. That another team won't swoop in going, you know what, we really need a wide receiver with a lot of potential. We're going to step in and we're going to make that kind of offer. They will next offseason if you don't lock him up. So sign him. $19 million this offseason. Get it done. You got the cap space. Make it happen. Make sure that whoever your quarterback is has weapons and has them for the foreseeable future, whether you're going young guy, whether you're going Malik Willis. The key is going to be giving him guys that can open up that offense. And Michael Wilson is 100% one of those guys that can do just that. Now, Kevo, I told you I was going to bring you back in. I need you to tell me again, explain to me why the Arizona Wildcats are actually for real. We saw them lose a couple games. Obviously, injury, in particular to Koa Pete, has caused some problems. But why is this a team still that can get to the Final Four again, that could actually push for a national championship where we've seen other U of A teams disappoint us majorly?
I mean, look, I feel like I just quote tweeted Jamie Shaw, who was talking about, of these 4 teams, who has the best shot to win it all. And the 4 teams are Arizona, Duke, Iowa State, and Michigan. I really feel like Arizona, all things being considered, I feel like none of their health issues right now feel long-term. It feels like they should all be healthy by the time the tournament rolls around, Koa Pete, Del Urso, Aristote included. I think if healthy, Arizona has the best odds to win this championship. I think their roster is the most balanced. I think they have the best mix of size, skill, physicality. I know their outside shooting, there's a big narrative out there that they can't shoot and that blah, blah, blah. They have a high potential and propensity to do that when the game calls for it, right? I mean, they're able to score 90 points while making 3 threes in a game, right? So, if you don't need to take the risk of shooting a bunch of outside shots, why do it? But if the game calls upon it, I think they've shown that they can shoot it. So the team has a little bit of everything that you'd want as an objective college basketball fan. They have veteran leadership. They have young studs. They have some international flair. They have strength. None of their players get overpowered. Oh, yeah, and they have a 7'2" Lithuanian guy that's going to be in the running for Defensive Player of the Year.
You want to tell me the Cardinals are that 50-year-old bachelor on the couch? I feel like that the Wildcats over the years have been that guy or gal that looks really good on the dating app, right? That they look like, hey, this is the perfect. I don't know if you swipe left or right. I've been married for far too long and
Right?
to know any of that.
I think right.
Yeah, so they've looked like that, and then you meet them, and they're about 3 inches shorter than the photo looks. They don't actually have the job they claimed, and the one photo of them in a suit is the one suit they own from a wedding they went to 11 years ago. Actually, a wedding they went to in what, 98? Like that's what it looks like. It may even be a photo of them from 98 that they try to pawn off on you in there. So like what? Why is this team different? Why is this not going to break my heart again if I decide to open it up to this Wildcats team? I remember the heartbreak from when I was in school. I remember them losing to Illinois in the Elite Eight. Like, I remember the pain that comes along with Arizona basketball. Why are they the real, like the Bachelor I should believe in? Why is it different? I mean, you gave me a lot of reasons, but give me the one reason why this squad's different.
Well, real quick, I will say, I don't know if they're the person that lied on the dating apps. I think they're more like your friend, your buddy, or your girlfriend or whatever, who is in incredible shape, an absolute looker. If it's your guy friend, they're just jacked to the gills. They're 6'2", and they can never get on like a third date. Right? And you're like, what is wrong with you?
So they only make it to the second round of dates,
you know what I mean? So
and then they can't get past it.
What are you screwing up along the process to where you're not married already? You know, you look like Clark Kent, but you're single. What's going on here? I think like
Wouldn't
Arizona.
you want to look like Superman, not Clark Kent?
True. Well, you look like Superman.
You
look like Superman, but I guess Clark was a nice guy. Lois Lane was interested.
That's why he finished last.
Anyway, regardless, I think this Arizona team, right, to only have 2 losses so far in the Big 12 is, I think, in this year, a complete anomaly, right, to be able to do that. As Tommy Lloyd said after they lost to Texas Tech, which was not a good loss. I think that's like maybe the one thing that would worry me is I think this Arizona team has a propensity to play with a lead. But if you're playing with a lead, what does that mean? It means you're leading. They're leading all the time. I think that's what it is, Espo. This team has a propensity for dominance. That's what it is.
I will allow it, and I'm going to open my heart again to U of A basketball, and maybe I'll pick them in my bracket, which is usually a jinx, so maybe I won't for their own sake. That is another edition of Southwest Bias in the books. A big thank you to the dreads behind the desk. Kevo, you can follow him at Kevo Post. You're going to want to, because that is some fire content that man's throwing out, especially over on the TikTok. I know the kids call it the TikTok, not TikTok. So the TikTok, go check him out as well. You can follow the show at PHNX_sports. You can follow me at Espo. All the bias. Thank you for being here. Hit that like button before you leave. And remember, we all need something for comfort. Hopefully we'll find our stuffed animal that helps us here in Arizona sports. Ahoy, hoy.
We all silly like the mayor.